channel and you're like, what's going on here? Give me a couple of moments before I get all the other live streams set up, which give you time to get your mat, your block, your props, yourself ready for a yoga class. This is a Kundalini vinyasari kind of mix, so please get yourself ready and meet me soon. I've just got a few other social media clicks to create before the whole thing goes to air. So always Facebook and YouTube are first up. So I've got to be ready with them. So please stay engaged and I will be with you very shortly. Everyone's live now. Right, and I've got me sound and all the green buttons everywhere. Yep, looks good. Take me slippers off. Flick them over there because the floor in here is quite cool. Okay, let's come to a comfortable cross-leg position. Sitting on a prop, elevating your hips, taking your hands onto your knees and settling into your body for a few rounds of breath as you draw the breath in through the nose. And perhaps you open your mouth and sigh out the breath. And you inhale the nose and you feel the coolness of the air as it rushes in through the nostrils. And then you feel the expansive nature of the breath as it widens the chest cavity, north, south, east, and west in the cardinal directions. Expansion, big breath in, prana vayu. And then we feel that grounding breath, the letting go breath, the exhale. That can be out the nose or out the mouth. And just continue to take a few breaths like that. And recognizing the quality of the breath, the length of the breath, and the volume of the breath. From the soles of your feet through to the crown of your head, recognize how you've arrived today on your mat through the physical body. If you're someone like me that's struggling with some injuries, you'll recognize them in your scan. A broken toe is hard to miss, especially when I re-stubbed it last night. And a sore neck as well, caused by the imbalance of walking, favoring one foot. And I have to give myself a moment of kindness and compassion to recognize that and to say I understand how the body has to make those adaptations, has to make those pathways as we live busy lives, stressful lives, chaotic lives that require us to continue to go, to move, to do. And the practice is here to remind us to slow down, but you know, we live in the 21st century, so finding the harmony, reminding ourselves of the kindness and compassion that dwells in the heart space. It's okay to slow down. It's okay to pause. It's okay to repair, recharge, restore, replenish the batteries. We don't do it often enough. We don't do it for long enough. And we don't do it well enough. So I encourage you over the next few minutes with me just to invoke that into your body, that rest and digest response in the nervous system, the calming nature of the breath. Melt away the stress, the fatigue of modern life, and recognize the wisdom, the light that shines within you. That level of self-inquiry is an antidote to the modern day expression of largesse, of desiring everything yesterday that you've only thought of today and not wanting it anymore tomorrow. We can all be a victim of those thoughts, of those distractions. But yoga is this lens. It's this polisher, I beg your pardon, of the lens by which we see that default patterns. So the life gets gritty, it gets dusty, it gets dirty, it gets hard, and that fogs up our lens. Yoga and our asana practice and our Kundalini practices are all about polishing that lens, are about awakening the inner wisdom so that we may see ourselves more clearly, navigate the world with more abundance, move in the direction of more prosperity, embody more kindness, and welcome the renewable resource of love. That as we express love for ourselves, it projects that love out to the universe, which is an awesome reflector of our thoughts. So if we cultivate that love for ourselves, it comes back to us through those around us. It's a renewable resource. And it takes santosha. It takes a sense of contentment. And it takes an awareness that what you have is enough in order to maintain that steady, fixed awareness of love. The fluctuations of the ego, the distractions of modern life drag us away from that contentment. So let's take today's practice as an opportunity to tap into our renewable resource of love, awaken the Shakti energy within us to allow us to navigate our day or the rest of our evening, depending where you are in the world, with that sense of fortitude, with that sense of grace, so that we may meet the need of the hour. As you bring your hands to Namaskar Mudra at the heart space and chin to chest, let's take a moment just to settle on that with a few rounds of breath. And then we'll begin our practice with an Om. You're welcome to join or let the sound reverberate around you. Inhale to prepare for Om. Rub the hands together and create friction, heat, and fire between the palms. Agni, fire, a great transformative energy, the shifter, the destroyer of negative patterns, of unwanted thoughts. Once you feel the warmth is abundant, place the hands over the eyes and absorb that radiation. Welcome in that warmth, that gratitude, that thankfulness that comes from a simple practice like that. And as you start to peel open your eyes and your hands away, emerge into your space and arrive here together. And then take your hands out in front of you once again in Anjali Mudra now, and then take the hands towards the chin. Spread the fingers forward, down, open the palms, draw the hands back towards you, and then open them out in front of you as a gesture of welcome, as a gesture of hello, as a gesture of thankfulness. And as you expose the hands forward, you take that awareness of love and gratitude out to the universe, and then you scoop it back in and draw it back in towards your heart space. A couple of rounds like that, forward and back, forward and back. And in this process, you're warming up your wrists. A very beautiful way to start your day, especially if you're going to spend the day typing. It's so nice. And then you can reverse that and just come back, and just do a couple like that. I should feel nice in the wrists, fingers interlace, arms forward, palms forward. And it feel nice here just to move organically and naturally side to side around. The arms are going to naturally want to lift, and when we lift, we ground down. We need to anchor through Muladhara chakra, lengthening up and tuning into Sahasrara all the way up the top. So a nice erect spine, awareness through all of our chakras there. Good work. Release the hands, fan them down, take right hand to left knee, left hand behind you, and rotate around on an exhale breath to the left. Then come back to your center on the inhale and take yourself back around on the exhale. Deepen that rotation, deepen that twist. And then as you come back to center, take the right arm out in front of you. Exaggerate the lift of the left arm. So as it crosses at the elbows, you find the cross of the forearms, and we eagle wrap the arms, fingers to the ceiling. Once you feel the fingers have lifted and the elbows are shoulder height, start to ground through the sit bones and then press the forearms forward and press the heart and lungs back. So you've got this three-dimensional expression of the cardinal directions, north, south, east, and west. Grounding down, lifting up, pressing forward, pressing back. And that's an expansion from the heart space. Take a moment here to explore that space you're cultivating for the breath to come and go for a round. And then gently take the fingers to the right, ever so slightly, kind of 1 o'clock position, and then come back through your center and take them over to the left, kind of 11 o'clock position. It should feel quite nice to warm up the shoulders like so. And then as you uncross the arms, sweep them down, and then pretend to flick water off your fingers as you lift the hands up, and you take a deep breath in. And then as you come back down, you flick the fingers away with a little bit of water on them. And you're just awakening the Shakti energy inside of you, letting that expansion flick away and move all of the stickiness and the gooiness out, and welcome in the freedom of all of that potent energy of Kundalini, and allowing the chakras to spin beautifully. So let's take the hands up to the ceiling. Inhale, lengthen, lift, and reach, and then we'll twist around to the right. Right hand behind you, left hand to left knee, and the exhale breath takes the rotation. The inhale comes back to center, and then we go back around on the exhale breath to the right. And then as you come back to center, you return with the left arm pointing forward. Reach it forward towards me. Exaggerate the lift of the right arm up and over, cross at the elbows, twine at the forearms, and then lift. And we're looking for that three-dimensional expression of your chest cavity here. So it's expansion and lifting and pressing and grounding all at the same time while the breath is coming and going with vibrancy and vitality. Taking another round here. And then as the elbows soften into the height of the shoulders, you take the hands over to that 1 o'clock expression, and then through to the 11 o'clock expression. And then as you unravel, sweep them down. And this time as though you're just flicking the fingers off the thumbs. We lift and we go through that a few times around. And then as they come down, the hands are out wide, just warming up the shoulders and just getting the electricity, the pulsations of the nervous system all the way out to your peripheral. So your finger pads are some of the most powerful conductors of electricity, right? So it's where we feel things, yeah? So you should be able to feel the fingers across the thumb pad. Okay, nice. Come back to your center. Let's begin with some pranayama work now, or this is a kriya, a Kundalini practice, but a lot of people integrate it as a pranayama technique. Nadi Shodhana. You can leave your left hand on your knee, cupping the hand over the knee, or you could take Gyan Mudra, which is index finger and thumb touching, and the back of the hand placed on the knee. You'll use your peace fingers to your third eye, and your thumb and your ring finger will alternate the opening and closing of your nostrils. We'll cultivate a breath of fire technique as we exhale the breath forcefully out of the same nostril for the same rotation until I tell us to switch. So we'll start here with the fingers on the third eye and just take a breath in through the nose, noticing the quality of the breath, the stickiness of the breath. Exhale there. Now, if you do need to duck over and get a tissue and just tidy up your nostrils, please do that. We'll still be here when you get back. So close the right nostril with your thumb. Inhale through left. Close left nostril, and with that forcefulness and a snap into the belly button, you exhale out the right nostril. Then you close right nostril, open the left, inhale. Close left nostril, open the right, exhale. Close the right and inhale as you open the left. Close the left and exhale as you close the right, as you close the left, I beg your pardon. So open left, inhale, open right, exhale, and off you go. Focus on the horizon, focus on the snap of the belly button in and up to cultivate that breath of fire. What does fire need? It needs oxygen to perform its duty of transformation. So stoke the fire now with the breath. Keep going. All on that same side till I tell us to switch. Good work. Come through your center, open both nostrils, and let the breath go out both nostrils, and just recognize how the solar and lunar channels here are beginning to activate as Ida and Pingala awakens and Kundalini rises. Let's switch it now. So inhale through right, close right, exhale left, close left, re-inhale right, and off we go. Keep going. As awkward as it may sound on the camera, as weird as it might appear, you are activating, you are encouraging, and you are lifting that energy from the pelvic bowl up through the spine, and it's cleansing your brain, this technique. This is a skull shining breath. Keep it going. Good job. Both hands down on the knees, and just take a moment there to integrate that. Good work. Let's move through a little bit of spinal movement now. So cactus your arms, open the collarbones wide, inhale breath, fingers wide, palms wide, and then with the exhale, round the back body, elbows toward the belly button, and fist the hands. So it's an inhale through nostrils to expand and widen and extend through spine, and then exhale, draw it in, hug it in, and round. So keep going. Next time you go up, expand on the inhale. And then as you lower the hands down onto the knees, exhale breath. Now we'll take breath of fire, Kapalabhati. Again, I mentioned it earlier. What does fire flames need to be abundant and massive and powerful? It needs oxygen. So here we take a practice where all of the awareness is on the forceful exhale out your nose in the same style we've just practiced in Nadi Shodhana. But the inhale is passive. The universe looks after it. The exhale is so forceful that the negative pressure in our lungs means the breath will rush in. The universe looks after the breath. Okay, so sit tall, ground through sit bones, erect through spine, lengthen through back of neck. We draw a breath in to prepare, and then with that snap in of the belly button, we exhale out the nose, and the inhale will happen itself. So off we go. Stare off on the horizon. You're about halfway. The intensity builds, the fire ignites, and the generous movement of the shift of energy upwards is profound. Keep going. Well done. Come through your center. You're almost exhausted yourself there. The sense of awareness of the transverse abdominis coming around from the spine towards the belly button is a representation of the Manipura chakra. The fire element is its house, and its expression of your feeling is I do. It is the get up and go. It is the move and transform. It is the fire element within you, and you can feel it with that pranayama technique. Take the hands behind the head, interlace the fingers, and elbows are super wide, proud chest. This one's a kriya that involves breath. So as you rotate to the right, you inhale through nose, and as you rotate to the left, you open the mouth with an O shape, you go out there. So inhale right through nose, exhale, and you just rotate back and forth, finding the awareness shifting from left to right with your eyes as they remain open, and you move at the pace that serves you. So let's go, and I'll catch you and tell you to switch it in a moment. The forceful exhale cultivates this deep sense of shunya, of that void where you start to drop in to a dizziness. And that dizziness is that state at which you're not recognizing thoughts, memories, emotion. You are completely connected to this Kundalini technique, this pranayama work. So keep going on this same side as I drop back in with you. Elbows are wide, proud through the chest, navel grind left to right. Last few, and I'll get you to hold on the left in a moment. Exhale left, hold. Now switch it up. Inhale left, exhale right. O shape with the mouth, rotating at the navel center, tuning into the grind there and helping to awaken the Kundalini energy. Last 10. Hands down on your knees, come through center, close down your eyes. Just take a moment. Feel into the warmth in the legs, the energy in the pelvis, and that upward current floating through the spine as Shakti, Kundalini rises. And you've created awareness through the solar and lunar channels of Ida and Pingala. Very powerful practice, that one. So cactus your arms, spread the fingers wide. Now I'll invite you to find a mantra as you do exactly the same style of movement, twisting to the right, and you recite as loud as you wish in your space, Shakti. Shakti is the mother of all mothers. Even though we never hear her speak a word, we recognize her in the touch of the air on our skin, the flow of the rivers, the color of the leaves. She is everything that is life. She is the spark of enjoyment, creativity, and love. And as you twist to the left and recite the word Shakti, I beg your pardon, it was Shiva to the right, Shakti to the left. Shiva represents all that is, the omnipresent expression. So let's start with Shiva to the right, Shiva, and then Shakti to the left. Shiva, Shakti, 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 Shiva, Shakti. Keep going with this. And as you understand deeper the expression here of the opposites, right? You don't have to necessarily think of these as just masculine and feminine. It can be those expressions of hot and cold. It can be night and day. It can be dark and light. It can be any kind of dvandva in the Sanskrit language, those opposites. So keep going. Shiva, Shakti, 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 Shiva. Slow it down and then gradually come through your center and extend the arms out. Lengthen the arms into ego conqueror. As the gravity bears down on us, we need to create strength here by bringing the thumbs in first, holding the fingers around it, the thumbs, and grounding down through our sit bones, cultivating the heat and warmth of Manipura chakra as the core engages to help keep us in this position. The awkwardness of ego conqueror, the difficulty of ego conqueror, the unusual aspect of ego conqueror where we maintain this position means that we wait and watch and observe, because yoga shows up here. And it shows up when the ego, when the mind distracts you, when it says, you can't do this, you're not strong enough, this is boring, why is he doing this? It's weird, it's awkward, oh, hang on, it's painful as well, it's difficult. Yeah, well, that's when yoga shows up. Because yoga is not about rainbows and lullabies and everything being perfect and fantastic and the world going through all of the fantastic experiences of kindness and compassion. Yoga asks us to find that within ourselves, because it does ask us to recognize that shit happens. Difficulty goes on in the world. Pain and suffering is there. And what we need to do is be able to meet the need of the hour by our own strength, our own inner fortitude, our own awareness, and our own love for ourselves, so that we can express that into the universe. So this whole diatribe has been a distraction for you, because in this moment you've stood in your seat, you've stayed your ground, you've held this practice with me, and you've maintained your awareness on the horizon for another 5 breaths with me. Then 4, and then 3 come and go, and you recognize it's not that difficult, it's not that hard, it is possible. Last 2. And you congratulate yourself with that last breath as you lower the hands down onto the knees. Good job, well done. Thank you for showing up. Thank yourself. Shift to your tabletop position, all 4s, and we'll take ourselves through a few yoga poses that are probably more recognizable. In our tabletop position, we'll take our cow spine by tilting the tailbone up, looking up, and opening the throat. Inhale. And then rounding the back body, chin to chest, belly button in, press away, earth, cat. So inhale the cow and exhale the cat. Now feel into the integrity of the core. Feel into the warmth of the core. And if you've been cross-legged like me that whole time, you should start to feel that beautiful flow of fluid back through the legs. The practice of the yoga postures is all about compression and extension. Moments of compression create artificial dams, preventing the flow of energy momentarily. And in those moments, the blockages well up fluids, positive energy, and as we reopen the gates, it flows through, flushing out negative, connecting with channels that may have dried up. Turn this into sexy cat now, moving in a way that feels super organic and natural. And if you would like to target some of those areas that were a little sticky that you recognized earlier in your practice during our body scan, I encourage you to do that. So the eyes simply close down here and you move in a way that feels really abundant and playful in your body. With your eyes closed, you can change the orientation of your hands and get funky in the wrists and the elbows, warming up that part of the body that gets a little stuck now with all of the repetitive typing we do all day and holding devices. And then I encourage you to come back to your tabletop position, but build it with strength. Press away from the earth. And then let's warm up the fingers and the wrists by lifting your thumbs first and then shifting forward onto 4 fingers of each hand. So you're connecting with that row of knuckles and they've lifted the palms. For some of you, this is enough. It'll be very intense and deeply sensational. But if you do have more flexibility and practice with me regularly, you lift and lower the palms a couple of times. And that will start to warm up the fingers and the wrists and build integrity through that row of knuckles, which is very important in our familiar old friend, downward facing dog. Lower the palms down, lower the thumbs down, and just take a moment to sway from left to right. We'll continue to warm up the shoulders here. Right arm up to the ceiling, reach up, rise up, lift up, and then exhale breath. Dive it in and under to the left. Lower your right ear down. Slide the left hand forward along your mat, creating a long arm overhead towards the top of your mat. And let the right ear, right shoulder rest down onto the mat. Let the cheek feel soft, the jaw soft. And even you can just sort of slightly close the eyes and just take a moment here. Now, on our return, you place the left hand back in front of your face, and the inhale breath is that expansive lift of the right hand up to the ceiling, and draw some circles with that hand in the sky, and then return the circles. Lower the hand back down, and we take it all over to the other side. So left hand up, lift, reach, and rise, and then exhale, dive in and under to the right, lowering your left ear down. Be skillful in the presence of discomfort here. It's an awkward position to be in, but just make sure you're caring for your body. You've got a kind and compassionate heart space, just recognizing how you can adapt if you need to. And then return the right hand back in front of your face and let the inhale breath lift that hand all the way up to the ceiling. Draw those circles in the sky. Nice work. Puppy pose here. Take the hands forward all the way, reaching forward, but keep the hips over the knees. And then let the chest and the heart dive down to the earth. And if the forehead can lower down onto your mat, that can feel super nice. Closing your eyes here as well. I like to actually tuck the toes behind me, because when I tuck the toes, I can press into the toes, and that sends the energy along the back body, the posterior chain, and lets the chest lower a little closer to the earth. And then that's when the magic happens in the shoulders. You start to feel all of the rotator cuff getting a beautiful warming stretch. Take another breath here. And then as you start to find your next inhale, lift the head and the chest a little, and then slither forward, land in Sphinx. So lower your forearms down, lower the pelvis and the tummy down, and then slide the hands back towards underneath the shoulders, point the elbows back, press the tops of the feet down, and cobra the spine. Inhale, lift the chest a little, and then exhale, return the chest to the mat. Take us through spinal balance, which is a Kundalini practice. As you peek over the left shoulder, inhale breath, lift the left leg up ever so slightly, and then return back through center, exhale. Peek over right shoulder and inhale, lift right leg ever so slightly. It's just the one leg as we rotate the head around and peek over that shoulder. We look back and we encourage the lift of the legs. So exhale through center, inhale, rotate around, exhale through center, inhale, rotate around. I don't mind what side you're on at the moment, just take 2 more. It's so good for the gluteals here, especially since you're just moving one leg at a time. You tend to get a little jammy when you're doing both legs, but you can feel more abundance here, especially in the sacrum, Swadhisthana chakra, and all of the creative energy that moves with the water element there. Coming back to our tabletop position here, we're going to take ourselves through another Kundalini practice here, a spinal balance practice. As you sit back on the heels, take a moment just to bow your forehead down, tummy on the thighs. And as you shift forward, come to an inhale breath into tabletop, and then extend the right arm, left leg combination. That's all the inhale. And then the exhale is the tap of the elbow and knee under the body and the dome of the back. Return the hand and the knee back onto the earth, and then sit back on the heels. And that was all the exhale. So we shift forward. We let an inhale guide us with the left hand, right leg combination. And the tap is the exhale under the body. And then we round and sit back on our heels. 3 on each side. I have about 1 more each side. This is a nice activator of the core. It's a stabilizer through our balance series, being on one hand and one knee, and it's integrating the body and the breath. Sitting back on our heels for a moment, you could turn that into a child's pose and just take a moment to settle into the earth and evoke that sense of Shakti, the beautiful divine mother within us. In our child's pose. And then as you shift forward to tabletop, welcoming our familiar friend, downward facing dog. Place the hand's one handprint further down the mat away from you. Tuck your toes behind you, send your hips back towards your heels. And then as you press down through the hands, lift the knees, swing the head back, look at the toes as the chest presses towards the thighs. Pedal the feet, windscreen wiper the heels, nod the head. Don't get too caught up in the alignment here, especially since it's your first one of the day. The integrity, though, is always through your knuckles. So spread those fingers nice and wide and work with neutral wrists. Neutral-ish elbows, so some activity but not locked out. Where I like to think about all of the activity in this point is the shoulders. We want to be nice and engaged here. Triceps engaged, and then we lengthen along the side body, belly button in, head heavy, neck long, look at big toes. Just take a moment here with high heels and bent knees, right? Nice high heels, bent knees. And you'll feel more length along the spine and more lift of the hips up because there's more space. A lot of us are tight in the hamstrings, and that's totally fine. It's totally normal. We sit a little bit too much, and they're also very vociferous muscles. You really know when they're getting a nice big stretch because they let you know, don't they? All right, how slowly can you walk forward to the top of the mat? Feet towards your hands. No prize for first place here. Yoga's a lifelong practice. Take your time. Upon arrival, the feet are hip width, the hands come to your shins, and the inhale lift is a halfway inhale with the breath. And then we fold, exhale with a big bend in the knees, tummy on the thighs. Please catch your elbows. Playfulness here. Sway around, move around, roll onto the pinky toe edges of your feet, lift the heels, bend the knees, bounce, nod, move, yawn. Do what you need to do. But if you're like me and you catch the same elbow combo every single time, you need to uncross and then recross in whatever is the awkward and weird and unusual way. And that's such a lovely expression of our yoga practice, doing something that retools, rechannels, re-emerges into different patterns. And then dangle the hands to the earth, chin to chest, head is heavy, neck is long, and with a beautiful deep inhale, we roll up the vertebra by vertebra, bone by bone, transmitting energy from Mother Earth through the soles of the feet, through the ankles, through the calves, through the knees, through the thighs, through the pelvis, Through the hips, through the torso, up to the shoulders, roll them up to your ears, and then drop the arms down beside you. Slight tuck of the chin to the chest, and feel the length along the body. From the ground to the sky, you stand tall in your mountain, aware of your presence, aware of your body, aware of your breath. Stable in your foundation, but lofty up in the crown of the head, right? You're up in the clouds there, and that's okay, because you're standing tall. And then as the big toes come to touch, the hands come to the heart space, the chin to chest. Namaskar mudra with the hands. Take a moment, take a breath. And if you work with Ujjayi pranayama, you could activate that here. That beautiful victorious breath. If you're not sure what it is, I encourage you to breathe through your nose through your practice, in and out. And creates a lovely focus point for your practice. There's a little bend in your knees, and you swing the hands out and widen up to sky. Inhale, breath all the way overhead, and then exhale. Fold and hinge at the hips, hands to the earth. Halfway lift with the hands on the shins. Inhale, and then I'll get you to step back to high plank. Exhale, breath. Holding your plank here, pressing away from the earth, shoulders over the wrists, and feeling the length in the legs. So it's exactly the same alignment as our mountain, but now we're in a different position. If you need to lower your knees, that's totally fine. Please do that. Otherwise, stay strong with me here, broadening across upper back, and everyone will be staying strong, even if you're on your knees, because it's still a worthy practice. You're still strong. Holding there for 2. Holding there for 1. We'll drop our knees now and meet all our friends there. Cross the ankles behind you, draw the heels to butt. Lengthen along the spine and the back body so pelvis shifts slightly to the earth. And we'll take 5 tricep push-ups here. So with the exhale breath, you bend the elbows and let them skim close to your rib cage and lower halfway down. And then you press back up, inhale, and you lower halfway down, exhale. Look forward and away, don't look in and underneath yourself. So long through the back of the neck. 3 and 2 and final 1. Pressing back up and holding there. Uncross the toes, uncross the feet, lower the toes behind you, lower the chest and the chin down onto the mat, and then slither forward to cobra. In our cobra position here, take your hands out wide onto your flooring, point your elbows to the sky and widen the feet behind you and lift the chest. Inhale, breath. Should be a little bit more space now in the spine and a little bit more lift. Lower the chest back down, exhale, and roll up through the right side. Inhale. Oh, and then lower down through the left side, exhale, and then inhale through left and lower down through right. You can do 2 more breaths like that, whatever combination you like. Head back to tabletop, and then we'll set back up for downward facing dog, placing your hands 1 hand print further forward, tucking your toes and sending your hips to the sky. There's probably going to be a little bit more length now in the legs, so you might feel a little more relaxed around the buttock, around the thighs, and around the backs of the knees. Walk forward on your exhale breath, top of your mat. Hands on shins, halfway lift, crown of head forward, inhale. And then folding, exhale. Ground down, root down to rise up, inhale, breath. And then exhale, hands out wide, reverse swan dive all the way to earth, exhale. Hands on shins, halfway lift, inhale. Step back to high plank, exhale. Hold the plank momentarily or lower the knees, please. But we'll take ourselves all through the lowering of knees, the chest and the chin, and then slithering through to cobra is our back bend. Inhale, back through tabletop and downward facing dog. Exhale. Start the walk forward with the opposite foot. Exhale all the way. Feet are hip width on arrival. Ardha Uttanasana, halfway lift. Inhale. Uttanasana, forward fold. Exhale. Urdhva Hastasana, inhale all the way up to the sky. And then Uttanasana, forward fold. Exhale. Ardha Uttanasana, halfway lift. Inhale. Plank pose, Palakasana, stepping back, holding, lowering knees if we need. But I will take us all through lowered knees, chest, chin, because I've got a broken toe and it is more safe for me to move this way. Inhale, Bhujangasana. Exhale, Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. One more of these. Walking forward, exhale breath. You can go as fast as you like here. Halfway lift, inhale. Fold, exhale. Sky, inhale. Earth, exhale. Half on the inhale. Exhale, step back to high plank. Knees, chest, chin. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Nod the head, pedal the feet. Just take a moment. Recognize how the body feels now. Walk forward to the top of the mat. Halfway lift on arrival. Inhale. Exhale, fold. Feet hip width. Sweep the fingers along the mat. Chair pose. Utkatasana. Sitting down into the seat. So you want the weight transferring back into the heels. Draw the tailbone down towards the heels as we knit the ribs and the belly button in and up. Reaching through fingertips, holding for another breath as you find your drishti focus on the horizon. And then exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant the hands, stepping back to high plank. Knees, chest, and chin. Exhale. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Left leg lift on the inhale. Drive the heel back. So 3-leg dog with the left leg lifted. Squaring your shoulders, feeling into that row of knuckles on the earth. Heel to buttock, and then knee to left pinky finger. Beg your pardon, foot to left pinky finger. Nice and wide at the top of your mat. Lower the right knee gently down. And take a moment here with a proud chest coming up onto finger pads. Letting the pelvis shift forward. And feeling length in the chest wide through collarbones. Focus forward on the horizon. Right hand firm on the mat, palm facing down, press down, left hand lift up. We rotate around. Option 1 would be simply to reach back and look back. If that's not available, you might like to take the hand behind the head and just help the head to rotate around. For some of us, reaching back for the foot is available, drawing the heel to the buttock, and we're feeling into that quad stretch. Another deep breath there. No slingshots to release the hand wherever it was. We'll bring it back to the front of the mat. Bring the front foot to center. So we're framing the front foot with the hands now in a lunge position with back knee down. And then I'll just get you to shift the hips back, lengthen the front leg forward, and we'll take our Ardha Hanumanasana, half splits, curling the toes back towards the face. Belly button in, feeling into the length along the hamstrings, tuning into that expression. Whew, nice and strong. And then as we shift forward with the chest and the torso coming forward, planting the hands firming into the earth, stepping the foot back, lowering through knees, chest and chin, exhale, and then slithering forward to cobra. Inhale. And coming back to downward facing dog, and I'll meet you there. Right foot lift and reach it behind you. 3-leg dog. Inhale. Hold there. Square shoulders, firm knuckles, long through the back of the left leg. Heel to butt. Foot steps to right pinky finger forward. And then we gently lower the left knee down and tuck back toes. Proud chest coming up onto finger pads. Look forward. So option 1, that right hand goes up. Might reach for the back of the head and just help support the head as the rotation takes you around. You might be able to reach back, and that's good enough. Or for some of us, reaching back for the foot, drawing the heel towards the buttock is another option. No slingshots here. Let go of whatever variation you took. Toe heel the foot into the center line. Take the hands around it and then start to shift the hips back and curling the toes towards our face as we lengthen out our front leg. 2 deep breaths. And shifting forward onto that front foot, planting the hands, stepping the front foot back to plank, lowering knees, chest, and chin, and then slithering through to cobra, and then meeting in our child's pose. Big toes touch, knees open out wide, hips back towards the heels, arms reach forward, forehead lowers down. Just bow down here to yourself. Thank yourself for showing up today. Reconnect with your intention, reconnect with that moment of pause at the heart space we took just after our mountain pose. Nice work. Start to lift your chest, walk the hands back towards your knees, and then shift onto your favorite hip and swing the legs around to the front of the room, lengthening the legs out. Now feel free to bend the knees to sit up on a blanket, prop, a cushion, whatever you've got in around you. It could even be a block if you own one, or a book. Reach up on the inhale and then let the heart guide you forward with your exhale breath. Now you might be able to hold the feet, you might be able to hold your ankles, you might be able to hold your calf muscles. You could even use a belt over the feet and finding more length there with a lifted chest. Some people find that more encouraging, more available. So yogi's choice. Just continue to hold the feet, taking 5 slow, steady breaths. Really nice, everybody. Another deep breath here. And then as you start to peel yourself up, cross the legs, come into your variation of a comfortable cross leg, using any props around you, elevating the hips if that feels nice. And we'll take a moment here to place the hands on the knees. Close down the eyes. And rescan the body from the soles of the feet all the way through to the crown of the head. Our final practice here will be Shringara, and I think I can talk you through it without you having to open your eyes again. Place your left hand over your heart space, your chest, and then take your right hand out to the side, almost like you're cactusing the arm there, and pinky finger and thumb come to touch in Gyan Mudra, or as though you're holding a most delicate feather or quill or beautiful pen. Within that hand, you're going to start to draw a sideways figure 8 representing the symbol of infinity. And as your left hand is placed over your heart, you start to draw that symbol of infinity with the awareness from the heart space of gratitude, of thankfulness, of kindness and compassion, importantly to yourself. The figure 8 represents infinity, right? Because these vessels that we call our bodies, these minds that we call ourselves, this breath that we're taking now, we think of this as an expression of permanence, right? A lot of us get caught up in this gripping and hanging on to this concept that we are permanent. The mind likes you to think like that, but actually once you drop into the awareness that this body is impermanent, it is breaking down, it is getting older second by second. So how do we tune into what's within us that is impermanent? By the self-inquiry, by the deep dive that yoga practice represents, and by drawing this symbol, recognizing that the infinite resides within us. We just have to trust that we don't have to trust, we know that it's there. We have to trust in the process as we uncover the veil, move it aside of ignorance that shrouds our awareness. So move from finite boundaries, move from I am this, I am that, to that all-encompassing sense of awareness. That we're not just a lane here, we're not just meant to stay small, we are the universe. Expression of the infinite. And take both your hands over your heart space, draw your chin towards your chest, and just absorb that. Bring the hands into Namaskar Mudra, chin to chest. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Hari Om Tat Sat. Thanks for joining me this morning. Thanks for practicing, everybody. I'll catch you again real soon. All of these classes are recorded on YouTube and onto my Facebook page, so you can practice them anytime. Please leave me a note. Let me know how you went. I've got to reconnect the live stream because it's obviously stopped because I've been going for so long. Let's see, did that work? Yes. Okay, there we are. Good morning, everyone on TikTok. You're my loyal fans. I love the way people on TikTok hang around, and yet all the American